Can Anthony Davis and the Pelicans even this series? KD might have a little something to say about this on this Sunday afternoon. Game 4, and Golden State had the motor revving from the start. Draymond pins it off glass, and KD wasted no time going to work on the undersized guards of this New Orleans Pelicans defensive strategy. He's like, I woke up like this step back one-footer in the lane. That's the sweet spot. New Orleans, they're going to have to do something. Now watch Andre Iguodala's patience. The misdirection, Steph in the corner, and Steph's rhythm was slow. Don't let the numbers fool you. Steph out of rhythm for most of this game. This dude was not. How do my nuts taste? All right, your boy's getting a little carried away, but how about this man, Quinn Cook, making an appearance, diving to the rim, 12 points off the bench as Steve Kerr finally unveiled the small ball lineup. KD likes it, but New Orleans would weather the early storm from Golden State and answer. Drew Holiday, that's 2 open, splashes down the 3, then AD hits him with the shoulder lean. New Orleans did a good job maintaining contact as Golden State came blazing out the gates. Take another look at it, but AD, once again, not getting enough touches in my opinion. Here we go, Draymond, is this a flop? I don't know, but he doesn't like it. So this is T count 1 for Draymond Green. I thought he kept his composure pretty well. There was a lot of flopping going on, and New Orleans dominated the free throw shooting in this game. You see the crowd loved it as New Orleans answered in the second quarter, but they could not stop this man. You put size on him, and he's too quick. You put a small guy on him, and he's too long. Buries it in Mirotic's face to close the half. But the Pels had to feel good. All that work and just a 7-point lead in the third quarter. You know what time it is in the third? It's Steph time. One of his 4 threes on the night, but it was visibly frustrated for most of the game. Here's Davis on KD. It doesn't matter what your name is. And what we're bearing witness to is the most prolific scorer of this generation take over in a playoff game. Now, Gentry put AD on him late, but at that point, it didn't matter who was in front of him. Whatever he put up was going in as he put the Pels to sleep. Dubs 3-1. Hey, y'all need to go get that boom. Called it, man. Oh, it's really like gambling without risk. And what you're doing is you're picking live games, and as long as you're picking winners, your points are ranking up. Now, the top 20 each week get a cash payout. But there's a special competition going on right now. The first person to 1,000 points in a week, that's $1,000 cash in your pocket. So I'm sure a lot of you are aware of, there's been some articles and a lot of fan talk about the Warriors' revenue. You know, when they host a game at Oracle, you know, I think they generate more revenue probably than any other team in the league. Don't quote me on that, but it's a lot, right? And you looked at the playoffs last year going 16-1, and someone calculated how many millions of dollars Joe Lacob and this ownership group lost because the Warriors pretty much swept through the playoffs. So in comes the conspiracy theorists. You know I love these. And saying that Golden State threw game 3, just like they threw a game in round 1, and just to stretch things out and give back a little bit to the team. Because let's be honest, Joe Lacob, shout out to the ownership, they spare no expenses when it comes to free agency, when it comes to amenities for these guys and keeping them healthy and everything, right? So giving back to the ownership, if you will. And, you know, I kind of like, I don't know about that, right? That's a little far-fetched. That would be a very arrogant move by this team. But then they come out today, Sunday afternoon, and it just makes you think. It really makes you think because you look at the effort level in this game compared to game 3, and it was twofold from the start. Right? I mean, that's just what it was. So Kerr goes back to the small ball lineup, inserts Iguodala into the starting lineup, and KD goes right to work, man. We got a vintage Slim Reaper performance where he was just absolutely dominant. And what's happening is you're seeing as the series goes on now here in a game 4, Durant is just much more comfortable with Drew Holiday and Etuan Moore and these smaller guys getting into him, crowding his body and shooting over the top, right? It took an adjustment. And now he's comfortable and he's found a rhythm. And now at a certain point in the game, it didn't matter what you did. But I've questioned Alvin Gentry on this before. Anthony Davis isn't dominating offensively, right? He's averaging, 24, 25 points a game in the series. So why don't you go ahead and utilize him on the defensive end and put him on Kevin Durant? If you were to scour the league and say, okay, what guy could you try to guard one-on-one with Kevin Durant? Anthony Davis has got to be in your top 3. And I understand the philosophy of you need to save him as a weak side defender and you need his energy offensively, but it ain't working, Alvin. And like we've seen around the playoffs, you know, he may find himself with Dwayne Casey this offseason if he doesn't at least try to make that adjustment. The final and last adjustment, this is nothing new. These are things I've suggested from the start, is Rondo hurts them. It's offensively, they probably need to, this sounds crazy, but Ian Clark or even a Jordan Crawford, a shooting threat needs to be on the floor to run a pick and roll with Anthony Davis. It would put Golden State's defense in much more compromising positions than it has. All that said, KD goes 38 points in 36 minutes and dominates. But the biggest storyline and the biggest problem for the Pelicans moving into Game 5 is Steph Curry. Because I don't think I can ever remember seeing Steph this frustrated with his play on the court, at least visibly showing it. And there's reason, we know why, right? It's his third game back. Trying to find a rhythm in the playoffs is a different beast, right? Because the speed and the physicality of the game is different. So I'm not faulting him, but he seemed very frustrated, and I kind of almost wanted him to not get going there at the end. He had some cosmetic baskets at the end, right? But we know what's coming. The Pelicans know what's coming. Game 5 in Oracle Arena. You think you're going to get another shooting performance like that from Steph Curry? It ain't happening, right? So that's really the problem because, they as well as Kevin Durant played, that's not going to happen from Steph. Clay, it was really a team effort. Looney was in there. And then shout out to Quinn Cook for really finally arriving in a playoff game. And I think a lot of it has to do with Kerr giving him that opportunity. But he finally looked comfortable and he did what he did, and that's score and shoot. Iguodala was low-key maybe the second best player on the floor. If you pay attention to his defensive awareness, pushing the ball, and making the right decisions, it was really an overall great team effort. I don't know how much the Pelicans have left, right? The one thing that I will say, and I've mentioned it before, is Anthony Davis, he just doesn't have a relentless will. It seems like you can once they start to struggle, he concedes too early, and the team concedes too early. And so I don't know if they have an answer for it moving forward. I think Golden State's going to finish them off Tuesday night at Oracle, and I think we're going to see the chef in all his glory. Moving forward, hopefully this Utah and Rockets series can be pushed a little bit, really missing Ricky Rubio, But I can't complain. We can't complain. We want to get out of this unscathed in 5, and hey, I'll take it. I picked the series to go 7. I thought Anthony Davis would be more aggressive offensively. I thought we would have a harder time stopping Anthony Davis offensively, but he doesn't force it, right? And that's a negative in this instance. And then Draymond Green, man. Draymond Green, once again, is outplaying a guy with maybe twice his talent. But you have to credit the team for the scheme of it as well. Real quick, y'all. I know I've been running some ads on here and doing things. Your boy's got to eat too, but I try to keep it legit with things that I actually support. And this is just because I want to do this. Go check out my guy, Parker Allen. He's a high school football star in the Bay Area. And I went to the Suns game with his brother, Chad, and go check out his GoFundMe, man, because that's all I'm saying. Go take a look at it because I don't know about y'all. I try to do good things. I'm kind of a hermit. Your boy doesn't leave the house often. Y'all be commenting about my hair and shit, but you know what I'm saying? I stay in the lab. But when I do, I try to do stuff, if I can help somebody out or just a small gesture, because that's ultimately what shit's about, man. And we need to do that. And so go check out his GoFundMe, and always hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.